If you're on the fence about having that third baby, this video is for you. I'm going to share the pros and cons from my own personal experience being a new mom to 3 kids, ages 6, 2, and 4 months. Starting out with the bad news first, you are outnumbered, assuming there's 2 parents in the equation, so that is a bit of a challenge. Although I will say, if you're going to have 3, have 2 that are closer together. That way it doesn't feel like you have 3 young kids at once. So our 6-year-old has a 4-year gap, and then we have the second and third 20 months apart, so almost back to back. So it almost feels like we have 2 babies and an older kid who's more self-sufficient, so it makes the dynamic a little bit easier. Another con would be travel, especially for flying. I haven't totally thought through those logistics yet, but I don't want to have 3 in one row and then 2 in another and then kind of this empty seat. Same thing with hotels. It's always going to be a little bit more expensive if you don't want to cram 5 people into one room. All right, last con from my personal experience is noise. Lots and lots of noise. Moving on to the pros, I would say my number one pro as a mom of 3 is that I always wanted to feel like I had a bigger family, but 2 never quite felt like enough and 4 felt like a little too many. So I always felt like 3 was the perfect number. And growing up, I always wanted to have 3 kids. Another pro of having 3 over 2 is I feel like it gets rid of that one-on-one, man-to-man dynamic where the tension is like diffused across 3. So if 2 aren't getting along, they can just kind of go hang out with the other one. And last but not least, it's just another child to love. And honestly, I was so nervous about having 3 kids after hearing all the horror stories, but it really doesn't feel that much different for me personally than having 2. I mean, our second child was like feral as a baby and a toddler who had colic, so maybe that's why 3 feels just as easy as 2. So I'm curious in the comments which transition was easiest for you.